Hello and welcome to the Visionless Designs YouTube channel. So in this one I figured I'd do a quick review of my Black & Decker Workmates, the WM825XJ Dulux or 825 Plus depending on where you shop. They're portable workbenches, one right here, which it's folded up. So you can see when it's folded up will actually stand on its own that way, which makes it easier for storage. And the way you unfold them, you've got these four legs. Like that. There we go, as long as you get the wall put down. And then on the sides, here, there's a lever on both sides, which just lift, and that's that. So this is on its full height. You can actually keep the legs folded in. Just undo it now. You have rubber feet here, so we undo that. So you can do it at a low height like that, which I did in my review of me using my grinder outside. If you have something tall to clamp in, to keep it at a more reasonable height for you. Yeah, so it's nice and simple to move around. Yeah, go on to the other bit. So one of the main reasons I got these is for odd shaped logs like these. Obviously, because it's round, sometimes not even round, really weird shaped, it's hard to clamp them. So that's where these dogs come in. You can put them in lots of weird places. And they have quite a good grip when you tighten them up. So let's make sure that's nice and tight. That's nice and tight. There we go. You can see that's not going anywhere. Just do that to get it out. Yep. Nice and simple. As you can see here, got quite a lot of different holes. I'll show you in a bit, but it's not actually quite enough holes for what I want to do, so I've had to drill some extra. I'll show you the comparison with my other one. Right, so on this, the way the handles work is there's a band to adjust them. Also, please put it here. So this band, which actually is part of the Dulux version, it allows you to only use one handle to open and close them. This band actually broke on my other outfit, of one of these that I bought, and I've disconnected it from this one. I personally, because everything that I do is odd shaped, I find this to be more of a pain than anything, so not really something I'd go for personally. As you can see, this is how you can clamp tall objects. I don't really use that function myself. I prefer to just put things sitting flat on there and then clamp it to that. Just show you the actual width. Why am I having trouble with that again? There we go. Right. So you got about a just over 2-inch gap down there for on its smallest, which is quite handy again for if I want to do things like that. If I want to put that in there, and I can clamp that and do things to it. For example, if I want to shape it with the grinder. Right. So as I showed earlier, one thing I do like to do is put the cookies in. But not to use the grinder in, but see these slots I've got here? These are for my floating shells I make. The safest way for me to do it with my router is to actually make sure that it's actually open. 1, 2, there we go. Put that down there. Like that. Clamp that out like that. Get that bit down. And then here I've got my Festool guide rails. And then I'll get that lined up. Whoop. And that would have been, whoop. Feel my pain. There we go. And I would have got that lined up like that. And have the rope to go along there to get that done. Yes, this is the easiest and safest way for me to do it. So there is one. So these are the Festool quick action lever clamps that I normally use on them. They do have one major problem. You can see it on the back here. So obviously these do have rubber feet on them, so they don't move. But I do prefer to use the clamps. If I try and slide it in here, clamp. You can see there's not much lip on the edge here. It's actually really hard to have anywhere to attach the clamps to. I can attach it to like the metal here, but that's again really awkward. Realistically, if when these tops eventually break, I'll probably extend this by another 4 inches on each end, just so I've got somewhere to actually clamp these to. But the other way it can be done when I'm doing things like cutting the cookies in half on the table is just pop them up, whoop, through there like that, and then you're fine. A bit of dust. So yeah, then I have a couple like that. Yeah, so again, this is pretty handy for me on when, again, doing routing or things like that, or cutting the cookies in half, or even cutting boards down. So I do use 2 of these, so if I have long boards or anything long and wide that I need to do, then I use the 2 of these together. So yeah, I've got both my Workmates here now. As I said, when I showed earlier with the guide rails, one problem I do have is the amount of holes that actually comes with the Workmate isn't quite enough for me with my either the guide rails or just the round cookies, because they're so odd shaped and different sizes. I actually need a few more holes to be able to fit them in, because you've got the 2-inch variants to go forward and backwards with the clamp, and sometimes I need a bit more. So on this, as you can see, I've added extra. This is kind of what I think it should have come with, because you've got a lot more variation of where you can put the holes, put the dogs in. It just makes it a lot more functional. So I originally used a 22mm Forstner bit to do the holes, but they're a little bit too tight. I used my, so I started with a 20, and that was too tight, and then I moved to a 22mm, and that was slightly too loose, but it doesn't matter about it being loose because it's for clamping, so the as you clamp things together, it'll hold it in anyway. So yeah, if you want to drill your own holes, aim for 21, 22mm Forstner bit, or a spade bit for this, would be fine. Yeah, it just makes it a lot more functional, better. So there are a few things to note about this, for those that are wondering. It does have a 250 kilogram weight limit to it, apparently. Even though it's got a high weight limit, I wouldn't really try pushing it to that. And definitely don't try using hammers on this. A problem I've got. Get that out. Yeah. So you can see here, that's a bolt I've had to use some metal weld to hold in. Normally this table, get that out, is held on by these little metal clips. They're actually starting to wear down on my other one as well, but they just don't seem strong enough to take much weight and movement. So yeah, I've had to beef them up. That'd be a bit of a complaint I'd have with these. Another thing well, a few people have trouble with this one is when closing it. Just push down. There we actually gone in okay. Sometimes these clamps here will try to go on the outside like that. So just need to make sure if it's not clipping in and should go down, just make sure that they're seated in, and then it'll be fine. And when you're trying to carry it as well, you want to make sure that these two are clamped together, otherwise that becomes very loose. So you want to put it on the smallest one. There you go. There you go. There's a lot less movement in it for storage. So yeah, make sure you close it up like that. Right, so one of the things that pushed me to try these was that originally, when I started out, I was using my father-in-law's Workmate. Must be about it's over 20 years old, I think it is. And that thing was really, really thick and sturdy, handled a lot. So, oh, well, I'll get the top end version of the Black & Decker Workmates. Unfortunately, they seem to be a lot thinner than the old ones. The metal just doesn't seem to be as thick. It's still acceptable. I mean, I think I paid on an Amazon Black Friday deal, £65 each for these, which is good. Again, always keep your eye out for price changes. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed that the older, more mid-range ones are more robust than the newer high-end ones. So it's just something to consider if you're going from if you need to replace your old ones. But other than that, these been pretty great. Yeah, other than niggles, I can't really go without using them. The difference of height thing, yeah, it's been handy for even just use as a step. One thing I do tend to use, I should have shown in the video before, is just flip it up. Because we've got the step here, it means you can't get very close. So we tend to use the other side when actually doing the sanding, because you've got more space to actually get your feet under it. So again, something to consider. And again, this height has actually made it handy for when my kids have come in the workshop and wanted to do their own little projects. So again, yeah, it's been handy for them. So yeah, hopefully you found this review helpful. Please check out the website at visionlessdesigners.com, where you'll find links to my Etsy store, Instagram page and Facebook, and I hope to see you in future videos. Any comments, please post them down below. Thank you very much.